Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to create one of my signature bridal makeup looks. This is the look that I developed over the years throughout my career as a makeup artist, and I consider it to be universally flattering to almost every bride out there. If I were to get married again, this would be the look that I would love to wear on my wedding day as well. This tutorial is actually kicking off the bridal series on my blog, where I will be giving you tons of beauty bridal advice, from how to take care of your skin to all the do's and don'ts of wedding makeup. So definitely be on the lookout for that and keep checking my blog as well. Bridal makeup should be very special, and for me it should meet the 3 of the following criteria. Number 1, it has to be timeless and sophisticated. It should never look outdated on the pictures, even 10 years from now. So your wedding is not really a time to experiment with different trends, and I would really hate it for a bride to look at her wedding pictures and didn't like the way she looked on that day, because it would no longer be relevant. Number 2, it should be long lasting. So it should withstand any weather conditions, sweat, all the tears, all the dancing, the last selfie, and it should also look great in any kind of lighting, whether it's a natural light, or if it's artificial light, or if it's a flash photography. And number 3, you should still look like yourself. For your wedding, more than any other occasion, you want to look stunning, but you still want to look like yourself. I always tell my brides that my goal for them is to make them look beautiful, but yet natural and like themselves. It's your special day, you want to look like you, but only better. And you also want the person that's waiting at the end of the aisle to be able to recognize you. It's been a while since I was a bride myself, so I'm very excited to jump into this tutorial. But before we begin, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel and hit that notification button. And without further ado, let's just get started. Every woman wants to look beautiful on her wedding day. Fresh and glowy in person and stunning in the pictures. And the key to beautiful, radiant and long-lasting makeup is to really take time prepping the skin. Moisturizing is an important step towards smooth makeup application, because makeup and foundation adhere so much better when the skin is supple and moist, as opposed to being dry and flaky. So I always start with clean face, and I follow with a lightweight moisturizer. And for 90% of the brides, I really like to use Peter Thomas Roth Water Drench Hydrating Moisturizer, because it's really lightweight and it holds makeup beautifully. It acts like a perfect base for makeup. But if my bride has specifically a very oily skin, I use Bioderma Anti-Brilliance Cream, because it controls shine and it also hydrates at the same time. Using a hydrating cream around the eyes is just as important to keep the eye area as smooth as possible. And then I like to follow with MAC Strobe Cream, because it has tons of antioxidants, tons of radiant boosting ingredients to really boost that glowy bridal look. And I always like to apply the MAC Strobe Cream around the C shape of the face. It's right when the light catches you, when your head is moving, and you can already tell how beautifully it illuminates the skin. So that's pretty much it for the moisturizing. I would let it sit for quite a bit of time to allow the skin to really absorb all the nutrients. So let's go with the eyes. I'm just gonna have it zoomed in a little bit. So I always start with the eyebrows first, and I have a tiny bit of foundation to prep the eyebrow area, and then I'm just using Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Wiz Pencil in soft brown to add the definition to my eyebrows, to shape them and to make them look very natural but defined. It's bridal makeup, you want to look soft, so never overdo it with eyebrows. Now I'm just running the concealer right underneath my eyebrows to clean this area, to define the eyebrows even more and to highlight them at the same time. And I like to take this concealer right here as well to cancel out any redness in the inner corner. Prep the eyelids, I'm using MAC Soft Ochre Prolonged Wear Paint Pot, and it really is gonna help us make the eyeshadow stay vibrant and not moving for a very long time. I'm applying it around the entire eyelid, and I'm also taking it up and blending it with the concealer. I'm finishing up by just adding a tiny bit of translucent powder to make sure the eyeshadow application is as smooth as it could be. As a first color, I'm starting with Hoola bronzer in color Light. I really like to use this bronzer as a transition shade for my eyelid. As my second crease color, I'm going to be using this beautiful soft brown color from the Tom Ford palette. For a wedding day, you cannot go wrong with neutrals, and I think that this palette is just meant to be used on the brides. Neutrals work amazing on any eye color, and it's the safest choice and also like the most classic and timeless one. And I'm gonna apply it mostly in the outer V corner of the eye first, and once the majority of the eyeshadow is applied, I'm just gonna take it to the center and the beginning of the eye as well. And now I'm switching to Tilbury's Instant Look in the palette in Glow, because I'm absolutely loving those two champagne shades for all the brides. So I'm starting with the lighter one, and I'm just gonna apply it to brighten up my inner corners, and I'm taking it towards the beginning of the eyelid. And now I'm gonna dip the brush in the enhanced shade and put it on top of everything. And as a last color on the lid, I absolutely love using the one by MAC, the Skin Dimension eyeshadow in Sweet Heat. It gives you tons of that beautiful glow, and the best way to apply it is just using your finger for like the biggest eyeshadow payout and concentration. I'm going back to the Tom Ford palette, and I'm going to be using the darker brown shade and applying it across my entire lash line. So we are starting to build intensity along our lashes. And what I also like to do is to intensify the almond shade of the eye right here. And then it's important to really blend this out. And now is the time to smoke out a little bit the lash line to add even bigger definition. And I'm gonna be just using the regular black eyeshadow from MAC. And I'm mostly gonna keep it concentrated in the outer V, as if doing a small little, the tiniest wing possible. Since I really want to have that intensity in my lash line, I'm switching to Inglot gel liner. It's waterproof, it's gonna stay for ages on the eyes. So I'm basically just pressing it into the lash line. And I also like to do the tight lining, so I'm basically applying this gel liner on my upper waterline. It makes such a big difference. Alright, time to use some sparkles to the eye look to make the lights basically just dance around your lid and reflect beautifully in the photography. And I'm gonna be using Stila Magnificent Metals Glitter and Glow eyeshadow in color Rose Gold Retro. And using my finger, I'm just gonna dab it in the center of my lid. Now I'm gonna prep the lower lid with tiny bit of concealer just to make the eyeshadow stand longer as well. And I'm starting with the same Hoola bronzer right underneath the eyes. Now I'm switching to the soft brown shade from the Tom Ford palette, and I'm adding more pigment to the lower lid as well. And now I'm using Tilbury's pencil in Ombre to give them intensity and also to layer the products. And I'm placing the champagne colors at the beginning of my lid towards the middle. Now I'm gonna do my lashes, and for the wedding it's a must to use a waterproof mascara if you know your bride's gonna cry or if you know you're gonna be crying. So I always use the voluminous Carbon Black mascara in waterproof, but because I'm doing just a demonstration for you today, so I'm just gonna use a different mascara. For the lashes, I'm gonna be using individual lashes because I like that they are very natural, but you can still build a lot of intensity. But I used a lot of strip lashes on my brides as well. It depends on the needs, so it's a matter of preference. But if you are a crier, if you know you're gonna cry quite a bit, I would stay away from the strip lash because the glue can come off easily. And with individuals, it's easier because even if you lose just one lash or two, there's still gonna be plenty of other lashes left. So as I said, I'm just gonna be using medium flare individual lashes for a very customized eye look. And it's important to start placing them as close to your lash line as possible so you avoid any gaps. And I also like to use the long flare lashes and to apply them basically in the middle of the eye to open the eye and make it bigger. Alright, so that's about it for the lashes. And now let's go back to the face, and now it's time to apply the primer, and primer is very important for your big day. And I'm gonna be using the Hourglass Mineral Primer. What I really like about this primer in particular is that it repels water, so the makeup is gonna look fresh all day long. For a foundation, it's very important that you use the long wearing foundation, and for me the best foundation that's gonna really stay in place the entire day and night of celebration is the cult favorite Estee Lauder foundation. It works for all skin types, for all the textures. It's really lightweight, but it gives you good coverage and it looks very, very natural. And also remember that makeup doesn't stop at your chin, so be sure to apply it and blend it on the neck as well. So I'm just gonna blend this foundation now even more with the beauty blender to kind of make it sink into the skin. For the underlines, to cancel out any redness and discoloration, I always start with Lancome concealer. It has a peach color, so it really helps to cancel out any bluish, kind of grayish tones. So now it's time to highlight and contour the face and to conceal the under eyes as well. So one of my favorite products I use for all the brides is the Tarte Shape Tape Concealer, because it gives you a lot of coverage and it really stays in place. And then I'm just gonna blend it with the IT Cosmetics brush. So to contour the nose, I'm gonna be using the Maybelline Fit Me Concealer, and then I'm just contouring my cheeks. And whatever is left on the brush, just running across your chin to kind of create a shadow right here, and just my forehead. So I'm like applying and blending at the same time and blend it out. Now I'm just using the translucent powder to set everything up. And I really like to use the RMCA translucent powder to set my under eyes specifically. To intensify the contour, I'm going to be using the Charlotte Tilbury Thin Style Bronze and Glow. We applied the cream to contour and now we're just reinforcing it with the powder. So it's layering, we know it's going to stay for a long, long time. Bridal makeup needs to have enough color on your face to compensate for the whiteness of the dress. So I really like to add like a nice blush to bring out the cheeks and to add nice color to the cheeks. And my favorite blush is the one by Charlotte Tilbury in Color Love Glow. It's just the perfect pink color for all the brides out there. And I'm also going to be using the MAC Extra Dimension into the pink blush to add even more pink to the cheeks. You can never go wrong with rosy cheeks on your wedding day. Before I continue, I'm just gonna intensify my highlight and let it sit for a while. For that beautiful glow from within look, I'm gonna be using Charlotte Tilbury Baroque Gold. It has the most perfect gold shimmer color, and I'm just gonna apply it on the top of my cheekbones, on the tip of my nose, Cupid's bow, and I'm also will run it right underneath my brow bone. So now I'm going back to my eyes because I haven't applied anything yet on my lower lashes. But first I'm just gonna use a tiny bit of a bronzer to complete the eye look. I always like to use the bronzer to start doing the eyes and to finish them. And you actually can also take the blush into your socket as well. That's like my last final trick here. I think Patrick Ta does it. So I saw it the other day and I started to incorporating it into my looks as well. Before I apply the lower mascara, I'd like to run a flesh colored liner on the rim, especially for the ceremony, because it really brightens the eye and it makes the eye bigger. And for something really extra, I like to use a few under eye lashes to make the lashes look fuller, and they just photograph well as well. Okay, so time for the lips. Bridal makeup should be all about you, and you should feel comfortable wearing the lipstick that you really like. For me, it's a nude color, but you can definitely go a shade lighter to kind of make the lips a little bit brighter than what you would normally wear. And to make the lips last longer, I'm gonna be using the lip liner first, and it's the one by MAC in Strip Down, and I'm just basically gonna fill in almost the entire lip. And for the lipstick, it's better to avoid lipsticks that are either too matte or too glossy, because if it's too matte, it's gonna dry out really fast on your lips and you can run the risk of it being cakey and kind of settle into your mouth. And if it's too glossy, it's gonna basically end up everywhere on your face or on your partner. So I'm gonna be using the Tilbury one in Pink K. It's a perfect nude. It has like a beige pink undertones, and I have like a mini version with me today. So that would be my lipstick of choice for my wedding day. You can apply a little bit of gloss just at the center of the lid to bring in like the light. To set the bridal makeup, I like to use two sprays. The first one is by Cover Fix. It's an illuminating spray, so it gives a nice dewiness to the skin. And the second one that I like to use is the Urban Decay All Nighter, because this one really prolongs the staying power of the makeup. As a last step, and to provide that luminous, expensive glow, I'm just using the Illuminati Diamond Powder. So it gives you that tons of beautiful glow, and it's gonna reflect so nicely in the pictures as well. And now I'm just gonna place it right at the beginning of my eyes to make them pop and brighten the eye. Love it. So this is it for this look. I absolutely love this look. It's just timeless. It meets all the criteria that I mentioned at the very beginning. All the products are listed below, and I really hope that you enjoyed watching this tutorial. I will be doing another wedding makeup tutorial soon. This time it will be more on the dramatic side. I understand that some of you want to be very extra on your wedding day, and that's okay as well. So I want to show you my inspiration too. And thank you so much for hanging out with me, and I see you in my next tutorial. Bye! Fresh. You want your wedding look to be